Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I offer my humble obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Before reciting Srimad Bhagvatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in the classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Gurave Gaura Chandraye Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 2, Hiranyakashipu's plan to become immortal. So we read till text number 13 yesterday, and we were discussing how the demigods, when the whole world was, troubled by the enormous heat generated from the tapa or austerity of Hiranyakashipu, the demigods approach Lord Brahma and narrate the whole situation, that how Hiranyakashipu wants to take your own position and become immortal. And they request Lord Brahma to, if he feels appropriate, to please take some action before it's too late. So let's see what happens next. Text number 14. Iti Vigyapito Deve Bhagavan Atmabhur Nripa Parito Brgu Dakshadyer Yayau Daityeshwara Shramam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O King, being thus informed by the demigods, the most powerful Lord Brahma, accompanied by Brgu, Daksha, and other great sages, immediately started for the place where Hiranyakashipu was performing his penances and austerities. Purport: Lord Brahma was waiting for the austerities performed by Hiranyakashipu to mature, so that he could go there and offer benedictions according to Hiranyakashipu's desire. Now, taking the opportunity of being accompanied by all the demigods and great saintly persons, Brahma went there to award him the benediction he desired. So, very straightforward verse that Lord Brahma, along with the other sages, goes to Hiranyakashipu, and as Bhagavad Gita explains, that demigods are like, if we approach them for something, and if we pay the right price, they will give the commodity. Whether it is good for us, bad for us, demigods really don't know. They give what we want if we pay the price. But Krishna gives what is good for us. So, Lord Brahma, we'll see how he gives certain benedictions. So now he is going to the place where Hiranyakashipu was doing tapasya. So let's see what happens next. Text 15. Would someone like to read? Who didn't read yesterday especially? Prabir Prabhu, you want to read?
Sorry. I'm really occupied.
Bipul Prabhu, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees. Downward pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text 15 and 16. Na dadarsha pratichanam balmiko trino kicha koi pipilika bhid achinam madastan mamsho shunitam tapontam taposha lokan yatha bhira pihitam ravim vilakshayo vishmito praho hasham tam hamsho bahona. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Vijja. Translation: Lord Brahma, who is carried by swan airplane, at first could not see where Hiranyakashipu was, for Hiranyakashipu's body was covered by an anthill and by grass and bamboo sticks. Because Hiranyakashipu had been there for a long time, the ants had devoured his skin, fat, flesh and blood. Then Lord Brahma and the demigods spotted him, resembling a cloud-covered sun, hitting all the world by his austerity. Struck with wonder, Lord Brahma began to smile and then addressed him as follows. Purport: the living entity can live merely by his own power, without the help of skin, marrow, bone, blood, and so on, because it is said, Asango ayam purusho. The living entity has nothing to do with material covering. Hiranyakashipu performed a severe type of tapasya, austerity, for many long years. Indeed, it is said that he performed the tapasya for 100 heavenly years, since one day of the demigods equals 6 months of our month. Certainly, this was a very long time. By nature's own way, his body had been almost consumed by earthworms, ants, and other parasites, and therefore even Brahma was at first unable to see him. Later, however, Brahma could ascertain where the Hiranyakashipu was, and Brahma was struck with wonder to see Hiranyakashipu's extraordinary power to execute tapasya. Anyone would conclude that Hiranyakashipu was dead because his body was covered in so many ways, but Lord Brahma, the supreme living being in this universe, could understand that Hiranyakashipu was alive but covered with metal elements. Should I stop here, Prabhuji?
Okay.
So, there's a very nice vivid picture in the front of the Bhagavatam that we see that Hiranyakashipu is just in bones by his austerity and severe austerity, and his external features of the body, like all the muscles, bones, skin, flesh, was devoured by the ants and other insects. So he looks like a dead man. So here it proves that, but he's still alive. What does it mean? It means that if the soul is still there, the life of air is there, still the person is a living entity. Even though his outer skin, marrow, bone, blood is all gone, but still is a living entity. So the living entity can live merely by his own power. The first line of the purport was explaining. And other thing we see in this first para, that if any ordinary person look at the Hiranyakashipu with only bony body, they will think that he is dead. But Brahma, being one of the Mahajan and one of the great devotee, he understood that Lord Brahma is still alive, and but only not covered by the metal elements. So that is the great power of a devotee to understand the external things in a meaningful way. Back to Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. So Jaya Mataji wants to read.
Thanks for project Dandavad Pranam. It is also been noted that although Hiranyakashipu performed this austerity for a long time, he was nonetheless known as Krishna or Rakshasa. It will be seen from verses to follow that even great saintly persons could not perform such a severe type of austerity. When then was he called a Rakshasa and Krishna? It is because whatever he did was for his own sense gratification. His son Prahlad Maharaj was only 5 years old, so what could Prahlad do? Yet simply by performing a devotional service according to the instructions of Prahlad becomes so dear to the Lord that the Lord came to save him. Whereas Hiranyakashipu, in spite of all his austerity, was free. This is the difference between devotional service and all other methods of perfection. One who performs severe austerity for sense gratification is fearful to the entire world, whereas a devotee who performs even a slight amount of devotional service is a friend to everyone. Surabham Sarva Bhuta. Since the Lord is the well-maker of every entity, since a devotee assumes the qualities of the Lord, a devotee also acts for everyone's good fortune by performing devotional service. Thus, although Hiranyakashipu performed such a severe austerity, he remained a Daitya and a Rakshas, whereas Prahlad Maharaj, although born of the same Daitya father, became the most exalted devotee and was personally protected by the Supreme Lord. Bhakti is therefore called Sarvavadi Vinirmuktam, indicating that a devotee is free from all material designations. Annaya Virasha Suna, situated in a transcendental position, free from all material desires.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Very interesting purport. So I think I shared the picture in the group. So imagine Lord Brahma has not yet come on the scene, that the hill is still, Hiranyakashipu's body is still covered. In that picture, which will come in the future verses, that the hill is open. But imagine the hill was still covered, as if there is one other hill behind Hiranyakashipu's body. So initially Hiranyakashipu's body was also looking like the other hill. But what was special in this hill, besides the other hill, Prabhupada mentioned, the translation says, that this was like a cloud-covered sun. When the sun is covered with clouds, still we can know where is the sun. So because clouds cannot really cover the sun, it's just the extraordinary brilliance, radiance, light is still there. So that was coming from this anthill, and that's the word used is Valmika. Valmika is basically referring to anthill. So Lord Brahma comes on the scene and finds this anthill, Hiranyakashipu's body, which was just bones. And second part of the purport is really interesting. The tapasya Hiranyakashipu did was hundreds of celestial years. Even if we equal that to like 6 months, so imagine how many times. That's like hundreds and thousands and millions of years he did tapasya. But Prabhupada is saying that he is still known as a Rakshasa or Daitya. We don't say, oh great devotee Hiranyakashipu ki jai. We say, Bhakta Shiromani Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. He was a 5-year-old boy, but he is the best amongst the devotees, Bhakti Shiromani. Why? Because Prabhupada is saying one who performs even little devotional service, Krishna is so pleased with that. Krishna is not pleased with thousands of years of tapasya, or which is not for a good reason, which is just to gratify one's false desire to become a bigger controller, a bigger master. That's what was his intention, to become the best controller, to take the position of Lord Brahma. But Prahlad Maharaj simply rendered devotional service as a 5-year-old boy. Slight. He didn't go to, like his father, to stand on one leg or on the toes. He didn't, perform hundreds of years of tapasya. But Krishna is pleased because he had all that is required. That is bhakti. And unalloyed bhakti, not just ordinary bhakti, unalloyed bhakti, free from all designations, free from other desires. That's what Krishna likes the most, and therefore he personally came, and therefore Prahlad Maharaj gets the title Bhakti Shiromani, the best amongst the devotees, or the topmost jewel of the devotees. After Narshing Arati we sing every time. And he also became the well-wisher of everyone, even of the person who wanted to destroy him. That's his father. Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, I have a question. The very first sentence in the purport, where it says that he can live merely by his own power without the help of skin, marrow, bone, and blood. But he is still alive, isn't it? So I'm just wondering whether that should be taken literally or it's just figurative.
Yeah, he was alive, and as we see in the picture, is alive in the sense that the self is the Atma, is still present in that body, and that body, most of the elements were gone, but so basically the ants and the other creatures were practically, destroying the body. And the bones are the ones which go the last. So therefore we see in that picture also, the bones are seen. Yes. And the other statement, how this, because some creatures don't have bones, right? I don't know. I'm not like a biologist, but I'm sure some of you may be aware of some creatures which don't have bones, but they still move. Like, I don't know, ant, they have bones, or some microbes, or some very small creatures, they don't have bones. But so the living entity is there. Until the jiva, the atma is present, they are alive. The atma is gone, the driver is gone. The car cannot move a single inch without the driver. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, Ravi, you want to read the next verse, 17?
Yes, I can do it. Hare Krishna devotees, text 17. Sri Brahma Vacha Uttishta Hotishta Bhadram Te Tapasidosi Kashyapa Varadoham Anuprapto Priyatam Ipishito Varaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jai Sri Prabhupada. Translation. Lord Brahma said, O son of Kashyapa Muni, please get up, please get up. All good fortune unto you. You are now perfect in the performance of your austerities, and therefore I may give you a benediction. You may now ask from me whatever you desire, and I shall try to fulfill your wish. Purport. Sri Madhavacharya quotes from the Sakanda Purana, which says that Hiranyakashipu having become a devotee of Lord Brahma, who is known as Hiranyakashipu, and having undergone a severe austerity to please, is also known as Hiranyaka. Rakshasas and demon such as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, just to take the post of these demigods. Thus we have already explained. This we have already explained in previous verse. So Lord Brahma is asking Hiranyakashipu to get up from his austerities and is there to grant him his benediction. So the Rakshasas also worship various demigods, and Hiranyakashipu worships Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, but he has his own reason for doing that. Thank you, Prabhu. Back to you.
Thank you. Again, this point, Prabhupada is reiterating that the Rakshasas and the demons approach the demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma. Why? To become even more powerful than them, or to destroy them, to take their positions. We have discussed the example, and it was Bhasmasur's example, was trying to kill Lord Shiva to enjoy Mother Parvati. Here, Hiranyakashipu wants to take the position of Lord Brahma. Not a very healthy idea. The person who is trying to give, like Nandini Mataji shared that story of Punar Mushika Bhavan, the guru who gave the rat, the mouse, the power to become a lion. Now the lion wants to kill the guru. And then the guru says, okay, again you become a mouse. So the point here is that again, the worship between demigods and the worship of Krishna. Demigods give what we ask. Krishna gives what is good for us. Demigod worship, very, very complex. Imagine 100 celestial years he had to worship to get what he wanted. Still his power was nothing in front of Prahlad Maharaj, who was a 5-year-old boy who did little service. Krishna is pleased with little service, which is full of love and devotion. Demigods, one has to pay the price. The bigger the power one wants, the bigger one has to pay the price. For example, if you go to buy a silver ring, we'll have to pay a less price. If you have to buy a gold ring, you have to pay more price. If you have to buy a diamond ring, you have to pay even more price. They will not ask whether you are qualified to buy it. They will ask, do you have the money to buy it? Very simple. They don't care. If you have the money, you'll get it. If you don't have the money, you don't get it. Very simple. That's demigod worship. But Krishna, if one desires, if one attempts sincerely, Krishna gives the best. We were discussing the example of Jatayu. Sincere attempt is required. Prahlad Maharaj, small boy. Dhruv Maharaj, small boy. Gajendra, elephant body. Mata Draupadi, Mata Kunti, woman body. Kubja, henchback. Shabri, low class. Jatayu, animal body. Sugriva, animal body. Hanuman, Vanar. So there is no external consideration in bhakti. External considerations are in demigod worship. A lot of mantras, tantras required. A lot of rituals required. A lot of rules and regulations. In Krishna consciousness, yes, there are some rules and regulations, very simple ones, which are for our, like good human rules, like getting up early, chanting, etc. Not eating grains on Ekadashi, etc. But the main ingredient is bhakti. And that Krishna notices, and then he will give whatever is best for the devotee. So these differences should be, clear to us, at least, so that the demigod worship process and the Krishna conscious worship, or worshipping the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Master Krishna. Any other comments, questions? Okay, let's read the next verse, text 18. Yes, Subrat Prabhu, you want to read, please?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna devotee, Dandavad Pranam. Text 18. Adraksam aham etam te ritasaram mahadabhutam damsa bhaksita dehasya prana hyasati susirate. Translation and purport by Divangis Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I have been very much astonished to see your endurance. In spite of being eaten and beaten by all kinds of worms and ants, you are keeping your life air circulating within your bones. Certainly this is wonderful. Purport. It appears that the soul can exist even though the bones, as shown by the personal example of Hiranyakashipu. When great yogis are in samadhi, even when their bodies are buried and their skin, marrow, blood and so on have all been eaten, if only their bones remain, they can exist in a transcendental position. Very recently, an archaeologist published finding indicating that Lord Krishna, after being buried, was exhumed and that he then went to Kashmir. There have been many actual examples of yogis being buried in trance and exhumed alive and good condition several hours later. A yogi can keep himself alive in transcendental state even if buried not only for many days but for many years. Oh, this very beautiful things as explained here. So even everything gone also, only by bone they can exist. So in the transcendental position. So this is explained like how the yogis can keep himself alive in transcendental state, even if buried not only for many days, for many years also. So this state is called samadhi. So please, so this is explained by the example of Hiranyakashipu. So please add.
Thank you, Prabhu. I think we discussed this point during Prabhu's question. So the life air, the prana vayu, apan, there are 5 life air: prana, vyana, saman, udana. So there are 5 life air are still circulating. If the soul is present, which was true in the case of Hiranyakashipu. And nowadays we may not see these kind of situations, or very, very rare, these yogis, etc. But ultimately, this is not the goal of a devotee, and one should not be even fascinated even if one sees such people, because our real goal is bhakti. What's the point of living 100 years or 200 years, etc., if there is no bhakti? So these siddhis may be there, these special powers may be there in extraordinary people who may have done a lot of tapasya, etc. But this is not the goal of a Vaishnava. Any other comments? So the word exhumed is basically like to dig out. So they were buried and they were exhumed alive. So they would dig out after several hours. So this was happening in the past. Haridas Thakur, we know the story that everyone knows the story when he was being beaten in 22 marketplaces. Nothing was happening, but because Lord Chaitanya had covered his body with his own kanti. So nothing was happening to him, not even a mark of the whip. The people, the cruel people who were beating him with those whips, their hands got blisters, and they were like professional whippers. Their job was, every day they were doing this. So imagine if someone is doing very hard job, like whipping, their hands are like steel. And those steel-like hands got blisters. Because generally people would give up their lives in being beaten at 2 or 3 marketplaces. Haridas Thakur was being dragged at 22 marketplaces in front of the public. Still nothing happened. Then finally Nawab gave the order to those people, if you don't kill him, then we will kill you and along with your family. Then those people said, Haridas Thakur, if you don't die, then Nawab will kill us along with our family. Then Haridas Thakur, Vaishnava is, paradukha dukhi. If my living alive causes a problem to you and your family, then what's the use of this body? And then he entered samadhi or trance. And then they say, Haridas Thakur is dead, Haridas Thakur is dead, everyone see? Haridas Thakur is dead. And then they threw him in the water. And after some time, he rose from the dead. That's what they took. So basically he entered in that samadhi or trance state. And yes, so that example is coming to my mind after a few hours or sometime later in the other village, he came back. That's very, this comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Any other comments or questions?
This one is correct, like Lord Krishna went to Kashmir after being buried. So is this true or just?
Well, this is, again, I don't have a lot of knowledge on this. There are different books saying different things. So Prabhupada is not mentioning like his opinion. He is saying some archaeologists have published this finding. So there are some books which say that yes, Christ came to India and he learned a few things, and there are some books and documentaries like that, but there is also another group of people who say no, that's not true. So whom to believe, whom to not to believe, we leave up to everyone's good intelligence. So I don't make a comment about, because I don't know.
Hare Krishna, this is Badra. Can I say something?
Yes, Prabhuji.
There is a devotee, he has published a book and he has done some thorough study from the Bibles. And according to him, yes, the Jesus Christ was in Jagannath Puri. And I can't quote the exact name of the book, but I know that devotee and he had done this thorough studies according to what I have learned from other devotees, heard from the senior devotees. So that's what thank you.
I think it's in Hidden Glory of India by Satyaraj Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple, and I can check and let you know tomorrow for sure.
But besides that, Satyaraj Prabhu, there is another devotee from California, and he has done some study about that, and he has quoted those places. Anyhow.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji and Mataji. Okay, let's read one more verse, text 19. Someone who didn't read yesterday would like to read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I can read.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text number 19. Naita purva rasyas chakrur nakarishyati chapare nirambur turyat pranan ko vai divya samasatam. Translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Vijay. Even saintly persons like Brgu, born previously, could not perform such severe austerities, nor will anyone in the future be able to do so. Who within these three worlds can sustain his life without even drinking water for 100 celestial years? Purport. It appears that even if a yogi does not drink a drop of water, he can live for many, many years by yogic process, though his outer body be eaten by ants and moths. So Hare Krishna Prabhu. So what I understood here is, so the yogis who has some mystical powers, they do so much austerities, and so in most of the cases, those will be fertile. But bhaktas, devotees, with bhakti marga, and which is actually a simple process. We do everything like singing, dancing, eating prasadam, all this, and all we have to do is just keep Lord Krishna in the center, and we can even achieve of course Golaka Vrindavan. Lord is very merciful to his devotees, and even Srila Prabhupada says that just follow my instructions and and hold on to my dhoti, that which is following his directions, and I'll take you back to Godhead. So here we can see that Hiranyakashipu did so much of austerities, and here Prabhupada says that the yogi can, even in this life we have seen that so many yogis who tries to walk on the water, or tries to get gold out of ashes. We have seen that, or it might be an illusion, but what is the use of it? There's not much use of it. That's my understanding. Please add. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very, very severe austerity. Not drinking water for 100 celestial years. So, very, very severe. Even Dhruv Maharaj's austerity was only like a few months. Even though they were celestial months probably, but still he gradually, first he was taking water, then some leaves, etc. But that also shows in one way that pleasing Lord Vishnu is much easier. One does not need to do 100 celestial years of tapasya. Very, very simple. At one point, one senior devotee mentions that one can get the same benefit by chanting Hare Krishna sincerely at home, that what Dhruv Maharaj got by doing 6 months of harsh tapasya. And which is much higher. We compared the example of Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu. Prahlad Maharaj got that simply as a 5-year-old boy, which Hiranyakashipu couldn't get for doing thousands of years of tapasya. So, any other comments anyone has?
Just share one thing. There was in Braj, Devra Baba, and we have met him personally. Of course, he left his body. He was more than 200 years old. His samadhi is still there, and when you go from Vrindavan to Belwan, other side, Mansi, Mansarovar. And but good thing about, and we had met him, and he was but still he glorified Prabhupada. That's the beauty about it. He was old, but he glorified Prabhupada and said, your Guru Maharaj had done wonderful thing to spread the glories of the holy name. So there are who knows, many in Himalayas and places like that, yogis are there who just hiding in their caves and just performing tapasyas like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, let's read one more verse.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I have this question. I just wondered, that means the yogis who did because of their mystic power, they live in not in their body but in their soul, because their body is like eaten by ants and they are not drinking water. So that means, that does it mean that they only live in their soul, not in the body?
Mm-hmm. So when you say they are living in their soul, that statement is not correct actually, because soul is the self, right? So their soul along with the prana, in this case it was present in the body just covered with bones, and sometimes in this situation it was present in the bones, in Hiranyakashipu situation. But there are other much before that that even with their subtle body they could do movements and then come back and take the same gross body that comes, I think, in the at certain places Prabhupada mentions that. So what is present, what is the self, is the soul. So if the soul is present, the person is living. Does that make sense? And it could be present in just bones, and it could be present even not in bones. For example, the ant, I don't know if ant has bones or whatever they have, or even finer creatures than ants, they don't have bones. They are still moving. The soul is present. Does that make sense, Mataji?
Yes, thank you.
Do you want to read next verse, Mataji?
Okay, thank you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text 20. Bhayavasyena tenena duskarena manasvinam taponishtena bhavata jitoham diti nandana. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. My dear son of Diti, with your great determination and austerity, you have done what was impossible even for great saintly persons, and thus I have certainly been conquered by you. Purport. In regard to the word Jitaha, Srila Madhava Muni gives the following quotation from the Sabda Nirnaya. Parabhutam bhasastham cha jitavit uchyate buddheha. If one comes under someone else's control or is defeated by another, he is called jitaha. Hiranyakashipu's austerity was so great and wonderful that even Lord Brahma agreed to be conquered by him. So here, Lord Brahma is very pleased on Hiranyakashipu's austerity. So that's what he's appraising him with in the following verses, and that's why he said that he declared that he is conquered by Hiranyakashipu's severe austerity. Back to you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hiranyakashipu paid the price and Lord Brahma was conquered. He wanted something really big, therefore he had to pay a very tough price, which was hundreds of years of tapasya, celestial years, which no one had done in the past. Therefore, Lord Brahma was conquered. Still, that's not a great thing. Krishna also is conquered, but Krishna is conquered by bhakta jitatvam, by the process of bhakti. He chooses to be conquered by the love of his devotee. And that doesn't need very harsh tapasya. We are again and again, that point is coming. He was conquered by Prahlad Maharaj. He was conquered by Draupadi. He was conquered by Gajendra. Any devotee we take example. Conquered by Pandavas. Became his servant. Became their chariot driver. So many situations we know how the Krishna takes his position of a servant because he's conquered. So, to conquer the one who conquers everyone. Only bhakta, a pure devotee, can do that. So, that again, the choice is ours, whom we want to worship, why we want to worship. Hiranyakashipu, demoniac person, wants to conquer the demigods so that they can rule over him and become his slave. But Krishna chooses to be conquered by the love of his devotee, and the devotee wants to be conquered by Krishna, and Krishna wants to be conquered by his devotee. That's their sweet exchange. The devotee wants to serve the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord wants to serve the devotee. But in the other times, Hiranyakashipu wants to conquer so that he can enjoy and rule over and be the master and become immortal. Any other comments or questions anyone has?
It's interesting, isn't it? Here the psychology that Hiranyakashipu is Lord Brahma is saying, you have conquered me even. But at the same time, Lord Brahma will have to pour the water on him to wake him up from it and get the body, and he will have to ask the boon from Lord Brahma. Interesting psychology here, how it works. But he doesn't realize that demigods ultimately are the devotees of the Lord, and the Lord is going to help them. Interesting.
Thank you, bro. Okay, so we will stop here and continue with the next words tomorrow.
Prabhu, 1 second.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Sorry. So there is a audio of Prabhupada saying that Lord Jesus Christ also came here. All the Chinese learned scholars, they used to come, etc. I'll send the audio. Prabhu, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji, for that reference. Okay, anyone else before we stop? Okay, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktavind ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.